Hi everyone, in this video we will go over how opioids work by diving into their cellular interactions. We will also address the opioid crisis and how to prevent opioid abuse. Opioids are drugs that bind to opioid receptors in the brain, and they determine our body's emotional responses to sensations like stress and pain. There are different types of opioids: endogenous and exogenous, or opioid drugs. Endogenous opioids consist of short chains of amino acids and are produced by our body. Endogenous opioids may come in three kinds, but they all contain common motive tyrosine, glycine, and phenanthine. On the other hand, exogenous opioids come from an outside source and not the body. Morphine is derived from the plant species opium poppy. Damgo is a synthetically made opioid. Both types of opioid interact with three types of receptors: mu, delta, and kappa, present in pre- and postsynaptic membranes in the central and peripheral nervous systems.
All opioid receptors are classified as G-protein coupled receptors as they contain a G-protein which activates upon binding. When an opioid such as Damgo binds to an opioid receptor, the G-protein dissociates into the G-alpha and G-beta gamma subunits. The G-beta gamma subunit specifically binds to either the voltage-gated calcium ion channel or VGCC, or the G-protein coupled inwardly rectifying potassium channel or GIRK, both located on the presynaptic membrane. When it binds to loops in the calcium channel, it blocks the uptake of calcium ions by the neuron, and its activation of the potassium channel flushes potassium ions out. This causes the membrane potential to become drastically more negative in a process called hyperpolarization. In conjunction with the lack of calcium ions, the hyperpolarized membrane inhibits neurotransmitter release pathways and creates an analgesic effect.
So naloxone is an opioid inhibitor that can be used to prevent opioid overdose in emergencies. Since naloxone has a stronger binding affinity to the opioid binding sites than the opioids themselves, they can then prevent the opioids from binding, thereby preventing an overdose. And since opioid overdose can stop someone from breathing, an injection of naloxone can restore their breathing to normal, thereby preventing their deaths.
Now, what specific steps should we be taking to help fight opioid abuse? We must put a stop to the over-prescription of opioids. We need to stop advertising directly to consumers like on television and online, and also help physicians to recognize signs of drug abuse. States must implement prescription drug monitoring systems to make patient drug history accessible to healthcare providers. Finally, we need to mandate insurance coverage for addiction treatment, increase funding for school prevention programs, and improve availability of overdose reversing drugs. With these steps, our country and communities can put an end to opioid abuse.